धीमहि यो यो नमः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ भूर्भुवः स्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नमः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति।
श्री राम तुहि श्री कृष्ण तुहि श्री राम कृष्ण हरे हरे। श्री राम तुहि श्री कृष्ण तुहि श्री राम कृष्ण हरे हरे। श्री राम तुहि श्री कृष्ण तुहि श्री राम कृष्ण हरे हरे। श्री राम तुहि श्री कृष्ण तुहि श्री राम कृष्ण हरे हरे। हरि ओम 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 हरि ओम। श्री काली तुहि श्री दुर्गा तुहि श्री शारदा माता हरे हरे। श्री काली तुहि श्री दुर्गा तुहि श्री शारदा माता हरे हरे। श्री काली तुहि श्री दुर्गा तुहि श्री शारदा माता हरे हरे। श्री काली तुहि श्री दुर्गा तुहि श्री शारदा माता हरे हरे। श्री माँ जय माँ 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 श्री माँ जय माँ। जय माँ श्री माँ 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 जय माँ। भोलानाथ तुहि नरेंद्र तुहि स्वामी विवेकानंद हरे हरे। भोलानाथ तुहि नरेंद्र तुहि स्वामी विवेकानंद हरे हरे। भोलानाथ तुहि नरेंद्र तुहि स्वामी विवेकानंद हरे हरे। भोलानाथ तुहि नरेंद्र तुहि स्वामी विवेकानंद कृष्ण तुहि श्री राम कृष्ण हरे हरे
हरि ओम हरि ओम हरि ओम हरि ओम हरि ओम हरि ओम
हरि ओम हरि ओम हरि ओम हरि ओम हरि ओम
काली तुहि दुर्गा तुहि श्री शारदा माता हरे हरे
काली तुहि श्री दुर्गा तुहि श्री शारदा माता हरे हरे
जय मां श्री मां जय मां श्री मां जय मां श्री
जय मां श्री मां जय मां श्री मां जय मां
भोलानाथ तुहि नरेंद्र तुहि स्वामी विवेकानंद हरे हरे
भोलानाथ तुहि नरेंद्र तुहि स्वामी विवेकानंद हरे हरे
शिव ओम हर ओम शिव ओम हर ओम
शिव ओम हर ओम शिव ओम हर ओम शिव ओम हर ओम शिव ओम हर ओम शिव ओम हर ओम
राम तुहि श्री कृष्ण तुहि श्री राम कृष्ण हरे हरे
ओम श्री राम कृष्ण भगवान की जय। अम्मा अम्मा ताये अखिलांडेश्वरी नीये अन्नपूर्णेश्वरी ताये हो आदि पराशक्ति नीये अम्मा अम्मा ताये अखिलांडेश्वरी नीये अन्नपूर्णेश्वरी ताये हो आदि पराशक्ति नीये ओ माता ओ माता ओ माता ललिता माँ ओ माता ओ माता ओ माता ललिता माँ ओ माता ओ माता ओ माता शारदा माँ ओ माता ओ माता ओ माता शारदा माँ अम्मा परमेश्वरी अखिलांडेश्वरी आदि पराशक्ति पालय 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 माँ अम्मा अम्मा ताये अखिलांडेश्वरी नीये अन्नपूर्णेश्वरी ताये हो आदि पराशक्ति नीये अम्मा अम्मा ताये अखिलांडेश्वरी नीये अन्नपूर्णेश्वरी ताये हो आदि पराशक्ति नीये
परमेश्वरी अखिलांडेश्वरी आदिपराशक्ति पालय मां अम्मा अम्मा ताये अखिलांडेश्वरी नीये अन्नपूर्णेश्वरी ताये हो आदिपराशक्ति नीये हो आदिपराशक्ति नीये हो आदिपराशक्ति नीये हो आदिपराशक्ति नीये। ओम श्री राम कृष्ण भगवान की जय। अच्युतं केशवं कृष्ण दामोदरं रामनारायणं जानकी वल्लभम् अच्युतं केशवं कृष्ण दामोदरं रामनारायणं जानकी वल्लभम् मौने प्रणतामे भगवान आते नहीं तुम मीरा के जैसे बुलाते नहीं अच्युतं केशवं कृष्ण दामोदरं रामनारायणं जानकी वल्लभम् मौने प्रणतामे भगवान आते नहीं तेरे शबरी के जैसे बिनाते नहीं अच्युतं केशवं कृष्ण दामोदरं रामनारायणं जानकी वल्लभम् मौन कहताने भगवान सोते नहीं माँ यशोदा के जैसे सुनाते नहीं अच्युतं केशवं कृष्ण दामोदरं रामनारायणं जानकी वल्लभम् मौन कहताने भगवान नाचते नहीं गोपियों की तरह तुम नचाते नहीं अच्युतं केशवं कृष्ण दामोदरं रामनारायणं जानकी वल्लभम् मौन कहताने भगवान हंसते नहीं राम कृष्ण के जैसे हंसाते नहीं अच्युतं केशवं कृष्ण दामोदरं रामनारायणं जानकी वल्लभम् मौन कहताने भगवान आते नहीं तुम मीरा के जैसे बुलाते नहीं तेरे शबरी के जैसे बिनाते नहीं माँ यशोदा के जैसे सुनाते नहीं गोपियों की तरह तुम नचाते नहीं राम कृष्ण के जैसे हंसाते नहीं अच्युतं केशवं कृष्ण दामोदरं रामनारायणं जानकी वल्लभम् रामनारायणं जानकी वल्लभम् रामनारायणं जानकी वल्लभम् रामनारायणं जानकी वल्लभम्। ओम श्री राम कृष्ण भगवान की जय। राम जी रखवाला सोना राम जी रखवाला रे राम जी रखवाला मारा राम जी रखवाला सोना राम जी रखवाला रे राम जी रखवाला છે રખવાડા સૌના, રામ છે રખવાડા રે, રામ છે રખવાડા. એ જી અંધ અપંગ ગરીબ અમીરનો એ છે પાલનહાર. એ જી અંધ અપંગ ગરીબ અમીરનો એ છે પાલનહાર. જીવ માત્રની જવાબદારી, જીવ માત્રની જવાબદારી જાતે જાણવનાર રે, રામ છે રખવાડા મારા, રામ છે રખવાડા સૌના, રામ છે રખવાડા રે, રામ છે રખવાડા. એ જી મોંઘો માનવ દેહ મળ્યો છે, મળે ન વારંવાર. એ જી મોંઘો માનવ દેહ મળ્યો છે, મળે ન વારંવાર. રામ ભજન કર પ્રભુ ભજન કર, રામ ભજન કર પ્રભુ ભજન કર, થાશે બેડો પાર રે, રામ છે રખવાડા મારા, રામ છે રખવાડા સૌના, રામ છે રખવાડા રે, રામ છે રખવાડા મારા, રામ છે રખવાડા સૌના, રામ છે રખવાડા રે, રામ છે રખવાડા. ઓમ શ્રી રામ કૃષ્ણ ભગવાન કી જય.
ॐ ऐं सर्वदेवदेवी स्वरूपाय श्रीरामकृष्णाय नमः. Revered Pravrajika Ishta Pranam Mataji, respected elders and loving devotees, Om Namo Narayanaya. Our revered gurus always stress on the importance of meditation. First, we have to learn to concentrate our minds so that it is not restless. The ability to concentrate is something that is built in every living creature. Among animals, we see a lion or a tiger gathering its strength by a moment of absolute stillness before he springs upon his prey. Swami Vivekananda said that while both man and animal can concentrate, the difference is that human beings have a greater power of concentration. We can achieve much if we are able to control our mind and intellect. We often find ourselves easily distracted and unable to focus our physical and mental faculties to a single task, and as a result, we are unable to achieve the goal. There is a story in the Mahabharata about Arjun and Bhima. Both were staunch devotees of Lord Shiva. Arjun prayed daily to Lord Shiva for a couple of hours, and Bhima only prayed for 2 minutes before his meal. One day, Arjun asked Lord Shiva, "Who between Bhima and me is a better devotee of yours?" Arjun was sure that it would be him, but to his surprise, Lord Shiva mentioned Bhima. Arjun was shocked and asked Lord Shiva, "How is this possible when he spends so much time in a daily prayer?" Lord Shiva explained to Arjun about the concentration. He told Arjun that while he was praying, there were lots of thoughts passing through his mind. However, Bhima's prayer, although only for 2 minutes, was done with deep concentration. That concentration made him a great spiritual seeker. Concentration is the key to unlock our greatest power and potential. It will help us to develop the best of ourselves. Through the power of concentration, the mind becomes strong and can shut out whatever disturbs it. Nothing can overwhelm us when our mind rests firmly in holiness, purity, and love. A scattered mind is like a single thread. It can easily be broken. But the concentrated mind is like many pieces of thread twisted together. It is difficult to break. In the Bhagavad Gita, Sri Krishna gives a wonderful picture of the concentrated mind. As a lamp in a windless place does not flicker, this is the same simile used for the disciplined mind of a yogi practicing concentration on the self. Swami Vivekananda says, "The greatest thing is meditation. It is the nearest approach to spiritual life. It is the one moment in our daily life that we are not at all material." Young Naren, later Swami Vivekananda, loved to play the game of meditation with his friends. Once, while he and his friends were meditating, the boys saw a cobra slithering towards them. They immediately jumped up and ran in fear. They called Naren to also run away, but he was absorbed in meditation and was not aware of the outside world. Neither did he notice the snake, nor did he hear his friend's call. The snake calmly left without causing any harm. We learn from Swamiji to be absorbed in the thought of God during meditation and not allow the mind to be restless. Sri Ramakrishna, the Master, encourages us to do japa every morning and evening, that is, repeat God's name. This helps to calm the restless mind. Through regular practice, the mind is trained to focus on our deity. Gradually, our meditation becomes deeper and we benefit. The Master relates an appropriate parable to illustrate that our mind must be concentrated. He says, "A man was fishing in a lake all by himself. After a long while, the float began to move. Now and then, its tip touched the water. The angler was holding the rod tight in his hand, ready to pull it up, when a passerby stopped and said, 'Sir, can you tell me where Mr. Naidu lives?' There was no reply from the angler, who was just on the point of pulling up the rod. Again and again, the stranger said to him in a loud voice, 'Sir, can you tell me where Mr. Naidu lives?' But the angler was unconscious of everything around him. His hands were trembling, his eyes fixed on the float. The stranger was annoyed and went on his way. When he had gone quite a long way, the angler's float sank under water, and with one pull of the rod, he landed the fish. He wiped the sweat from his face with his towel and shouted after the stranger. 'My friend,' he said, 'come here, listen to me.' But the man did not want to listen. Since the fisherman kept calling, he came back and said to him, 'Why are you shouting at me?' 'What did you ask me about?' said the fisherman. The stranger said, 'I repeated the question so many times, and now you are asking me to repeat it once more?' The angler replied, 'At that time my float was about to sink, so I didn't hear a word of what you said.' Master says that this is an example of perfect concentration. During meditation, we too must be absorbed in the thought of God without allowing the outside world to disturb us. Sri Ramakrishna explains that the mind is like milk. If you keep the mind in the world, which is like water, then the milk and the water get mixed. First, you must extract the cream from the milk and then churn the cream to make butter. Likewise, through spiritual disciplines practiced in solitude, extract the butter of knowledge and devotion from the milk of the mind. Then that butter can easily be kept in the water of the world. It will not get mixed with the world. The detached mind will float on the water of the world and be able to enjoy peace. If we are anchored in God, then we will be safe. Sri Ramakrishna lovingly referred to Swamiji as a Dhyana Siddha, an expert in meditation. When young Naren first met Sri Ramakrishna, the master asked him, "Do you see a light when you are falling asleep?" "Yes, I do. Doesn't everyone?" replied the young Narendra, his voice filled with wonder. This reply provided the master with a deep insight into the nature and destiny of this remarkable youngster who would later become his ardent disciple. Swamiji described his experience as follows, saying, "From the earliest time that I can remember, I used to see a marvelous point of light between my eyebrows as soon as I shut my eyes to go to sleep, and I used to watch its various changes with great attention. That marvelous point of light would change colors and get bigger until it took a form of a ball. Finally, it would burst and cover my body from head to foot with white liquid light. As soon as that happened, I would lose consciousness and fall asleep. I used to believe that that was the way everyone went to sleep. Then, when I grew older and began to practice meditation, that point of light would appear to me as soon as I closed my eyes, and I would concentrate on that." Swamiji also saw meditation as a solution to even the most mundane problems of life too. This incident is recorded by Swami Chaitananda in his book, Various Facets of Vivekananda. Swami Vireshwarananda relates the story as follows. Once, when Swamiji was traveling in Western India, he was the guest of a lawyer in the south. Now this lawyer had a baby that cried so much that no one could sleep at night. One day, Swamiji said to the parents, "Well, will you give me the baby? I shall take care of it tonight." The mother said, "Well, Swamiji, I do not object, but how will you keep it from crying? When I am not able to stop its crying, will you be able to do so?" Swamiji replied, "Let me try." So the baby was handed over to Swamiji. Swamiji put the baby on his lap and began to meditate. He meditated the entire night and the baby did not cry. Not even once did the baby stir from a deep slumber. Swami Vireshwarananda added, "I have no doubt that the baby kept silent due to Swamiji's meditation." What a man seeks is very near him. He still wanders about from place to place looking for it. Suppose you have a jar of dirty water. Continue to fill clean water into it. The dirty water will eventually overflow and you will soon have only clean water. Similarly, fill the mind with pure holy thoughts through the repetition of God's holy name, and the mind will become pure. Sarada Devi says, "The conjunction of day and night is the most auspicious time for calling on God. The mind remains pure at this time. Mother advises us to call on God whether the mind is concentrated or not. As we pray regularly, we will develop a wonderful habit of concentrating the mind on God. Negative forces like lust, anger, greed, hatred and jealousy will automatically leave us. Hari Om Tat Sat.
Devi Sureshwari Bhagavati Gange Tribhuvana Tarini Sarada Devi Shankara Mauli Viharini Vimale Mamavati Rastam Tava Pada Kamale Bhagirati Sukharayini Matas Tava Jala Mahima Nigame Khyata Naham Jale Tava Mahimanam Pahi Kripamai Mama Jnanam Haripada Padya Tarangini Gange Himavidhu Mukta Dhavala Tarange Duri Kuru Mama Dushriti Bharam Kuru Kripaya Bhava Sagara Param Tava Jala Mamalam Yena Nipitam Paramapadam Kalu Tena Grihitam Matar Gange Tvayo Bhakta Tilatam Drishtum Nayama Shakta Patito Dharini Janavi Gange Khandita Girivara Mandita Bhange Vishwajanani Hai Munivara Kanye Patitani Varini Tribhuvana Dhanye Kalpalatamiva Phaladam Loke Pranamati Yaswam Napatati Shobhe Paravara Viharini Gange Vimukayuvati Kritatarala Pange Tava Chen Mata Srota Snata Punarapi Jatare Sobhina Jata Narakani Varini Janavi Gange Kalusha Vinashini Mahimotunge Punarasadange Punyatarange Jaya Jaya Janavi Karuna Pange Indra Mukuta Manirajita Charane Sukhade Shubhade Britya Sharanye Rogam Shokam Tapam Papam Harame Bhagavati Kumati Kalalam Tribhuvana Sare Vasudhare Tvamasi Gate Mama Khalu Samsare Alakananda
सव इति च समाप्तः। ॐ श्री राम कृष्ण भगवान की जय। दर्शन दो घनश्याम नाथ मोरी अखिया प्यासी रे। दर्शन दो घनश्याम नाथ मोरी अखिया प्यासी रे। दर्शन दो दर्शन दो घनश्याम घनश्याम मन मंदिर की ज्योति जगा दो मन मंदिर की ज्योति जगा दो घट घट वासी रे दर्शन दो घनश्याम नाथ मोरी अखिया प्यासी रे दर्शन दो घनश्याम ओम श्री राम कृष्ण भगवान की जय।
Om Namo Narayanaya, dear sisters and brothers. Let us sit in a relaxed posture with head, neck, and spine in a straight line. Try to concentrate the mind on the radiant form of God seated in our hearts. We can think of our chosen ideal, be it Sri Ram, Sri Krishna, Ma Durga, Ma Sarada, or whomsoever we worship. Our Ishta Devata is with us always. Feel this presence in our hearts. As we breathe in, feel that you are breathing in love, peace, and contentment. As we breathe out all negative qualities like sadness, depression, anger, and frustration. Feel that only you and God exist. Swami Vivekananda was an adept at meditation. Swamiji says that the greatest help to spiritual life is meditation. In meditation, we get rid of all material thoughts and feel our divine nature. We must practice meditation every day. Then we would see the benefit of it. Our hearts and minds become filled with peace. There is no place for hatred, anger, or any negativity. This joy is inexplicable. Our Guruji's advice, when you open your eyes, see the whole world filled with God. If nothing but God exists, we can only love all of creation as a manifestation of God. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.
सर्वेषां स्वस्तिर्भवतु सर्वेषां शान्तिर्भवतु सर्वेषां पूर्णं भवतु सर्वेषां मङ्गलं भवतु सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरि ॐ तत्सत् जय श्री गुरु महाराज की जय महामाई की जय स्वामी जी महाराज की जय गंगा मात की जय महावीर स्वामी जी की जय, सर्व ऋषि मुनियों की जय, पार्वती पतये हर हर महादेव।